Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of VENDO Velocity. This is sadly our second to last episode of the year here today, but I'm super excited to welcome a new face to the podcast. Not a new face to VENDO, though, and I don't know how she's been hiding for so long. That is Aireal. So, Aireal, would love if you could introduce yourself to our audience here and just tell them a little bit about your experience here at VENDO.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. Very excited. I know it's been a whole year and some since I've been working with the company and I have not done Vendo Velocity. So that is my bad. But very excited. I'm a Walmart growth strategist, been with the company for a little over a year now, working on a variety of brands in different departments. So very excited to talk about Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Absolutely. It seemed like Black Friday, Cyber Monday just lasted forever, which we're going to chat a little bit through today. But want to get Ariel's take on the Walmart side of our business and how that performed in a few specific strategy updates. And then I'll dive into Amazon and TikTok Shop just a little bit so that we can give you an overview across channels that we're managing here at Vendo. So without further ado, want to dive into some performance updates specifically. And Ariel, just get your take on how Black Friday, Cyber Monday performed at Walmart.com.
I mean, just when you thought things couldn't grow, it grew even more. I am a huge advocate of looking at post-sales data. So MasterCard is one of my favorite people to look at. And they released their Black Friday data of seeing e-commerce soar 14% year over year. Insane. Compared to stores, which was only about 0.7, so less than 1%. So it really just shows that the customer is shopping digitally. They're finding Black Friday deals online. They're no longer having to leave their home at midnight and wait in line. They're really shopping the digital landscape. And so it's really exciting to see, especially for our Walmart.com customers.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point. And I think what we want to chat a little bit today is some of the social trends that we're seeing as well, because I think that that's also playing a big piece in driving e-commerce as a whole. So, for example, one of the first things you'll see today if you open up any news site that talks about retail is the emergence of TikTok and how it's really becoming this e-commerce mastermind. TikTok Shop said that it raked in over $100 million in sales on Black Friday alone this year, and they had over 30,000 live stream sessions throughout the day from different retailers, content creators, etc. So TikTok Shop has been a retailer that has kind of transformed and really made itself into a looming force within the last year or so. It's only been 15 months since it has launched, but they do have over 170 million users. And I'm sure, Ariel, you probably fall into the trap of scrolling at night too. But I'm curious on what your thoughts are. And just in terms of like, what are Walmart merchants saying about the power of TikTok? Are they even mentioning that that's an important part of the strategy, or what does that look like?
Yeah, very, very valid point. I am definitely fall into that category of scrolling at night. So I think the biggest thing, especially when we're talking with our merchants, is getting customers to do the research online before they even get into the stores or before they even start shopping. So one of the biggest things, especially with new product developments, is they want to see how the product is actually being used in the home. What are people saying? Getting honest reviews of the product once they bring it in as a gift or to their family. It's a great use tool for just research overall and getting true, honest feedback about the product before you even start looking for yourself.
That's a great point there. I'm curious on your thoughts on top performing categories on Walmart.com specifically. To your earlier point, the numerator survey that I was reading this morning too said that just 7% of shoppers did all their shopping at physical stores. So
Mhm.
31% split between e-commerce and in-store channels, but there is a huge surge in e-commerce as there is in every year, but more now seemingly than ever before. So curious on Walmart specifically. I know they can leverage their physical stores differently than any other retailer. But what do you think about that split specifically? And on top of that, which categories are you seeing really have stronger presence at Walmart than others?
Yeah, I, for the most part, have seen a huge rise in home appliances and home decor. Customers, especially TikTok influencers, are showing you the must haves and the great deals that you can find to spruce up your home. And they're really going after some of the affluent shoppers on .com. One of the things that Walmart had recently said in their reports is that they're opening their platform, they're breaking the stigmatism, and they're going after all sorts of class, middle class, upper class, lower class, and they're bringing the brands that those customers and those affluent shoppers are looking for. In addition to having their private label and all of their best sellers that you can find, Mainstay, Beautiful, things like that. So I think the biggest thing is really once you bring in the customer for some of those amazing deals, you're building the basket on grocery and baby and little things that you're like, I'm just going to the store for one thing, and you walk out with a full basket. Walmart has always done a really great job at doing so. And I think they're doing an even better job of getting the customer online for maybe a one-time deal or one-time item. And all of a sudden they have 10 things in their basket instead of that one thing that they were just purchasing.
No, I think that's a great point. And to your point on home decor, home goods such as bedding and decor accounted for 29% of purchases. So you're 100% right there. Other top segments were apparel and shoes, beauty, groceries, and then, of course, toys and video games, which always seems to pop off at this time specifically. But also with the mindset, I think, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it has shifted based on what we saw in Fall Prime Day and Walmart's fall event as well, in that there's a much more gift buying frame of mind. Nearly a third of buyers said that they bought only for others, and 38% said that they were buying presents. So I think that's interesting that the category overlap there. Who knows? Maybe they're buying some of these home goods for others. It seems like it there. But I'm curious, Ariel, on your take on some of the prices specifically, because I think that's one of the bigger pieces I've heard over Black Friday, Cyber Monday is Amazon needs to go to jail because they're making you price match against everybody else. And looking at rising prices and the state of the economy, of course, we're seeing that more than half of customers are looking for promotions, sales, coupons, etc. What does that look like on Walmart.com? How steep are the discounts? Are you seeing that really you won't convert well at all if you're not on discount at this time? What do the trends look like there?
Yeah, I think this year we saw something very unique that we haven't seen in past years, and that's a waterfall discount pricing. With that becomes early events. So I think Walmart started as early as October with their October savings, and then slowly trickled into annual event one, annual event two, which was Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And I think they're getting ready for a big December deals and Christmas shopping. So almost 4 to 5 new events that are taking into account this waterfall pricing. We started into October with 20, 30% off, very small discounts. Event one was 40 to 50% off. And I think Black Friday, we saw deals as low as 70 to 80% off. So really, really interesting to see that strategy go into effect this year instead of, past years where it's a single event, 2 days, maybe 3 days, and deep discounting for that certain period of time. It's allowing shoppers to shop longer, differentiate with the different price points. I think in October, there was a lot more higher AUR price point items that customers were maybe never seeing on sale throughout the year. And now they get it for 20, 30% off. So to them, that's worth it. And then obviously your big bet items, those items, hero items that are always going to be deep, deep discount, 50, 60, 80% off, which is what we saw this year. So really exciting, also very interesting to see and how that's going to be able to comp for next year.
No, that's a great point. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, both as a consumer and as a seller, because as a seller, I feel like it did kind of diminish the attraction to Black Friday and Cyber Monday specifically. Like, for example, we saw that traffic, and those numbers are still coming in, but traffic is down for Black Friday and Cyber Monday on those specific days. Yes, of course, if you look at Amazon, TikTok Shop, Walmart, etc., traffic is definitely up when you look at the full duration of the deal itself. But when you're running a deal for 12 days or even into October in your guys' case, then of course there's going to be deal fatigue that comes with that. And those bigger days, if the discount's exactly the same, aren't going to be as attractive. So
Right.
as a buyer, I shopped earlier on, but I also shopped later. There just wasn't as much urgency to buy. What are your thoughts on that overall?
I think the word you used, urgency, is very important. Overall, customers normally have to purchase during Black Friday or during those holiday events because the urgency is there, right? They know it's going to end within a 2-3 day span. I think going into next year, Walmart's going to have to really strategize with how they pinpoint these dates. Do they rerun October deals? Do they rerun December deals? Or do they go back to this urgency strategy where you're only getting an offer for maybe 2 days to a week at a time and you're forced to buy within that period? So, very curious to see as well. I think as a consumer, I didn't feel the need to go out and wait in lines and shop in store because the deals were basically going to be online the next day for Cyber Monday. So it's really what you're looking for. I think with so much duration and offerings across a variety of retailers, not just Walmart. There's a gift for everyone, and it's easily shoppable because it's at your fingertips instead of having to go to a store.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point. I think that we're gonna see differences in frequency even on an ongoing basis. As you said, Walmart's running deals in December. TikTok Shop as well. They have a larger holiday haul event that literally goes for the whole month of December. So it seems like frequency is going to be key for a lot of these retailers. And if you're not promoting or marketing more aggressively during that time, you might get lost in the market share mix there. But I'm excited to see some of the market share numbers that come out with the emergence of Walmart.com, Target, TikTok Shop, etc. That should be interesting there. I'm curious, Ariel, just as far as some of the main drivers of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you spoke a little bit about deals, but how else was Walmart amplifying the event?
I think this year their Walmart membership, Walmart Plus, had a big effect in how they sold their products. So limited access, early access, and time periods. Very, very interesting. Kind of like Nordstrom, where they offer card hold members to buy early and then offer it to the general public. Walmart did a very similar strategy with their deals, offering exclusivity rights basically and early access to some of these deals where maybe if you're a brand and you only had 500 to 1,000 units for marketplace, or excuse me, for the deal event, it's completely gone by the time it accesses for the majority population. So interesting to see reports there. I think that drove the business for all of those members, and it was really exciting just to see how that played out, especially for our brands that were participating in those events.
Great point. I'm curious, what's your outlook on the rest of the holiday season? I think, as far as what we're seeing on Amazon and TikTok Shop, sales are holding pretty well. And into December, I think brands are probably less likely to, of course, discount as aggressively as they did now. But there is a strong likelihood that a lot of our brands are going to want to promote, whether that's selling through excess stock or just going a bit more aggressively on those bigger bets. So, do you think that this is on pace to be the biggest holiday yet at Walmart.com, as it is every year, it seems? Or how do you expect those trends to fare into December?
I think we'll see very positive trends, especially year over year comps going into December, simply just because of the accessibility and the deals that are running through literally December 25th and up until Christmas. Definitely will be interesting to see the outcome of that, but I think it's going to be one of our biggest holiday seasons. Very, very exciting for Walmart. And it's also just very exciting to see for our brands who have more longevity to sell in Walmart stores on Walmart.com. I do think there may be some deep discount. There's almost only so much space in stores, as we've heard numerous times, like shelf real estate is gold. And buyers are going to have to decide, which items to clearance to make room for the new year.
Definitely. When looking at the homepage of Walmart.com, I think they do a really great job of highlighting just different categories there and some of the key deals that are being offered. I'm curious what placement on that page looks like. Is a lot of that going to be algorithm driven, or what are the tile placements like? What are the costs of those specifically? Would you recommend our brands to participate? Like, is there a big bang for your buck when investing in those different deal types?
Price point wise, it changes every single year. I will say it is very expensive. Think of it as like a Super Bowl ad. Like those placements, you're getting so much traffic within 3 days. So regardless of the clicks, you're getting the impressions. And that's one of the biggest things I talk to brands about is a strong partnership equals strong site placement in the end of the year. So it's really important to build the strong partnership with your buyer, with your site merchants, making sure that they understand fully what are your big bet items, what are deep discount items, so that they ultimately can pitch those cases to their leadership and get you maybe site placement for free. But overall, if you have an big bet item where it's super deep discount, high levels of inventory, you want to make sure you're showing some sort of investment on the marketing standpoint, because at the end of the day, it is a partnership, and Walmart wants to make sure that even though they're buying in the inventory from you, you're creating a sell through strategy with them to make sure your products are sold and potentially get bought for the next year.
Got it. That makes sense. I'm curious too, on the homepage, I see a featured in video section and it shows what creators are sharing. It looks like a lot of those are specifically calling out Walmart in the captions. How does that work? Is that a new feature that they're pushing there? Are those Walmart's own creators, or how do you get to be on those on that homepage featured by those creators?
Yeah, so we have a WMC rep that normally works directly to create these offerings. Majority of the time, depending on the category, they are creators that are within that segment or within that industry. You're not going to get, a home appliance creator doing a review for dog food or things like that. So they do a very good job of curating influencers that match the audience and match that product category that we're going after. I would say if you're interested, work with your Vendo team, work with your WMC rep to understand the cost. Each creator is priced differently, but there may be kind of like a bulk baseline offer for a certain category depending on whichever department you're in.
Got it. That makes sense. I'm curious too, when looking at search volume trends and just really understanding maybe which specific categories or keywords are going to trend up during this time. Let's say we have a new brand on the platform that's coming on and trying to understand what lift they can assume. I know that this is always a tricky question across any platform, but how are you understanding some of these demand trends through the season? Is that data provided by Walmart a lot of the time? Which tools do you recommend that sellers use, and where can they pull that data from?
Yeah, so specifically on Walmart, if you're not working directly with WMC, it's hard to actually understand query search terms. I love the new Marketplace Seller Center portal. They have a consumer insight section where you can actually type in related keywords that you think perform well related to your item and see where your competitors are winning. See how many times frequency rates, how many times things are clicked into, certain products are clicked into, who's winning the clicks across the board. If it's being searched 100 times in a day, who's winning the first place click versus the second place click. And you can really kind of understand what are those brands doing in their titles, in their keyword or site description, things like that, and either mimic those or create a curated Walmart copy that places high on the relevancy list for those query terms.
Cool. Yeah, that's a really good point there. Cool. Well, as far as some of the trends, just looking into the new year as well, I'm curious. What we're seeing on TikTok Shop is a lot of LTOs, bundle offerings. Really, the more exclusivity you're creating here, you are just able to improve your sales more, especially during the Q4 time period. As far as the product assortment goes, brands are leaning more heavily on those limited time offers. On Walmart.com, how much are the merchants pushing for LTOs and exclusive products, or how much are you really seeing that the big bets fall primarily around more of the evergreen assortment?
Yeah, I think it's a good balance of both, right? So your evergreen assortment is what you do all year. It creates relevancy over time to make sure that eyeballs are getting seen as early as April. We want to make sure that customers are familiar with you as the brand. They understand the quality and we understand the loyalty of what types of consumers are searching for certain brands. But then again, brands are coming new to market, new innovation. They want to test out different categories or different products into the market. So I always say go for both, right? Lean in on your head of your assortment, lean in on those bestsellers that you know are going to drive majority of your business, but then test maybe on a limited edition or a small quantity batch, test that new innovation, see how it does with the high volume and traffic of customers. And if it does really well and it sells out at 100% in a week or even a 3-day time span, then you know you have an opportunity to create it as an evergreen assortment for next year or offer it as a limited edition product for next year in a bigger way.
True. No, that's a really great point there. Just testing and learning and expanding on the assortment, especially because Walmart timelines are a little bit different than others. You can go and add a product on Amazon in less than 24 hours, ship an inventory, and then it's there in 2.5 weeks. And of course, if you are worrying about store presence, it looks a little bit different as far as big bets go for the holidays. But Aireal, this was super helpful and insightful for our audience here. I would like to just leave it open to you on any parting words of advice for December. I think there's definitely a bit of excitement just leaving Black Friday, Cyber Monday for a lot of brands, but they have some lofty December goals. So, what's your advice on how brands can really capitalize on the increased traffic that's still to come in December?
Yeah, I think in the past we've always said December is a slowdown month, and even January is an even slower month. But I think this year there's so much opportunity to get your products in front of the consumer, even if you're teaching them about brand awareness and you just want them to understand who you are as a brand, what you're offering, what you're trending or what you're known for. I think that's the biggest thing is push your marketing tactics, lean in to Ibotta and IO offers, lean into sponsored ads or sponsored videos. It's an opportunity where there's a lot of traffic. And if you're maybe not selling or performing as well as you thought, customers maybe just don't know about you or are fully educated on what you have to offer. So I always love to use my marketing levers. If things aren't working, let's understand why from top of funnel down.
Definitely. And there's a lot of consumers who just interacted with your brand for the very first time
Mhm.
during this Black Friday, Cyber Monday event. So, retargeting is huge, utilizing DSP to its full capabilities. You want to really put that money that you spent on building that brand awareness, driving new to brand growth to good use by getting that conversion. So, don't forget about DSP, especially in December and January when you've just attracted entirely new customer base to your brand. But I think that's all we have for today. So really appreciate all the great knowledge there, Aireal, and we'll make sure that next time you don't run too far away from Vendo Velocity and get here before the next holiday.
I will be back, I promise. Thank you so much for having me, Delaney.
Absolutely. Well, next week it's going to be a fun episode. We're actually bringing on Nicole Goldman, who's our senior director of people, and we are all going to a Vendocella event tomorrow. So we're
Yes,
super
I'll see
excited
you
for that.
tomorrow in
Yeah,
person.
I'll see you tomorrow. Exactly. I feel like I haven't seen you in a year, right? At
Yes,
Elefante.
it's been a full year. So,
Crazy. Well, we're gonna need to catch up for sure. But Nicole's gonna come on next week and kind of debrief our Vendocella event and give you a little bit of a glimpse into the people here at Vendo, what we stand for, our values, etc. So switching it up a little bit from strategy and diving deep into what matters most here at Vendo, which we're really excited by. But Aireal, I'll see you tomorrow, and we're excited for this week and what's to come. And happy selling to everybody.
yes, thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.